Welcome back. Britney Spears has been her own woman again legally for about 8 months, but she's still reliving the darkest days of her 13-year conservatorship and lashing out at the many people that she blames. Topping the list is her own father, Jamie, but not far behind is her mother, Lynn. And Britney claims mom did not want to hear about her suffering all those years. Yesterday, Britney posted texts that she sent her mom in 2019, the year she was involuntarily committed to a mental health facility. And in one of the texts, she seemingly is complaining about the meds that she was being given, writing, "I literally feel all the sick medicine in my stomach. I feel like he's trying to kill me. I swear to God, I do." It's not clear who he was in those texts that you see there. In her new post, which has already been deleted, Spears says her mom offered no response to that. Joining me now is clinical psychologist Dr. John Duffy. First of all, I got to tell you, Dr. Duffy, I'm a Britney Spears fan, so I'm just going to put that out there. And it's sad to watch this. It feels like watching her social media. One day I'm thinking to myself, I'm so glad she's free. She's able to post what she wants. Other days I'm nervous, like, is she unraveling in real time?
Right. I mean, that's part of the problem with social media and fame, right? Is that if you're having a difficult time, you're drawn toward posting, and you're probably going to post your worst moments as well as your best. Especially if you're not thinking clearly, particularly if you're not particularly emotionally well. I'm not sure that's what her situation is, but if it's possible, then that makes it even all the more heartbreaking. You're exactly right.
And we know what she's gone through with her dad. That's been public for a while. Now we're learning more about this situation with her mom. And it's all playing out online. I mean, in a way, I'd like to see the mom sort of sit back and say, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger person. I don't feel like I have to stand up for myself. But she's now going after her daughter.
Right, and you do. You want to see somebody who's in such pain have some advocate within the family, and to know, like, ooh, this doesn't even seem to be happening with mom. With the families that I work with, Brian, even, high-profile families, anytime that this stuff is played out in the public eye, it just gets more complicated and gets sadder and uglier, especially if there's money involved and mental illness involved. It's a lethal combination.
It seems like it. And we've seen, it play out again online. And Britney Spears has so much money. She's got the fame. But to think that she doesn't have a relationship with her mom, her dad, or her sister. I mean, the drama with her sister has been very, very public, too. How does she go on without the support of anyone in her immediate family? Can she be okay?
She can. It's possible. I think you have to really, when your immediate family falls away, you have to really create a tight network of people who you can trust around you. I have no idea whether she has that. I know that there's a possibility that she got married recently. And I hope that those people are close enough to her to give her good guidance, good advice going forward here, because clearly her immediate family, for whatever reason, the family she was born into, is not the support system she needs, at least not right now.
And when you read about what she went through, they just wanted her to work. I mean, that's what a lot of these documents say. They wanted to work her to the bone to bring in that money. But where were they when she needed them emotionally?
Well, unfortunately, it seems like her father was part of the problem in driving her into an emotionally dark place. We kind of know that. But when money's involved, a lot of money in a high-profile family, I always find that that's a complication. It rarely makes things easier. As much as you think it might, it often makes things far more darker, far more difficult.
And we talk about social media being sort of toxic in situations like this. Both sides can fight with each other in a very public way. But she also gets so much love on social media. I mean, if you look on her Instagram, 99.9% of the comments are people like supporting her. Is that important? I mean, do you think she should keep social media for that reason, or do you think she should just abandon it?
It's hard to say, because you're right. The vast majority of the comments are supportive, and a lot of people I work with, that's where they get most of their support, especially if they're estranged in any way from their family. So given that, you think like, okay, she should actually keep Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and everything she's got. But sometimes people focus on those few comments that are damning or demeaning or suggest you have problems. And if you're a person who focuses too much on the negative, and that can be 0.1% of what you're looking at, you might want to let it go for a while.
And even if it's just the 0.1%, if that's what you're focusing on, that can really be impactful. I want to read you something that Britney posted, one of the texts, and she's really been divulging private info. This one really surprised me. This is one of the screen grabs of a text with her mom that she posted on social media, later deleted. A lot of these she'll post, and then it's almost like she realizes it was a bad idea.
Right.
But this one says, he was saying he wants to up the Sarah kill. And I'm like, whoa, horsey, go F yourself. Sarah kill, I thought was a sleep aid, but it's for bipolar and is way stronger than lithium. First of all, what is that drug? And what do you make of her posting that?
Right, so that's a drug. The class of drug is mood stabilizers, much like lithium. It is for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. So it is a heavy drug. That's what she's referencing. And I think she's suggesting, as far as she knows, right, that she is being maybe over-medicated or medicated improperly, at least, which happens actually quite a bit with these more severe emotional disorders. So that's in the realm of possibility.
And when you read through her story and her account, it seems like there are other instances like this where she's sort of crying out and the people around her are saying, oh, no, you're just basically crazy. Calm down.
Yeah, and that I worry about, right? You know, it is not helpful for somebody, even if they are not emotionally solid, it's important that they hear that they're going to be okay, that they have support, and that what they're saying carries some merit, you know, because to feel kind of emotionally unstable and to have the world around you telling you, oh, no, you're fine, everything's fine, that's a little crazy making unto itself.
At what point, and this is something I wondered about earlier, at what point is a family just too broken to fix? At what point does Britney need to say, you know what, I'm done with all of you forever? Or does that do more damage?
No, that doesn't necessarily do more damage. Sometimes that boundary is exactly what a family that is torn like this needs. Sometimes that's a temporary fix. Sometimes it's a permanent one. But it feels like this family, if I were working with this family, I would say, you know what, right now, we're not going to do family therapy. We're not going to try to bring everybody together. Right now, everybody needs a solid boundary and a lot of time apart.
So this is a big question for Britney fans that I'm hoping you can provide a little insight into. A lot of them, me included, are hoping for a comeback here. You know, that we want to see her come back and be stronger than ever and have a tour and have a residency in Vegas. Do you think it's possible with everything going on?
I do. From what I can tell in people like Britney Spears, there is this kind of core inner strength and resilience. You think about all she's been through in the last, 15 years or so, and still there is this presence on social media, and she has this voice. And is it always clear and consistent? No, not necessarily. But do I think she can pull that off? I actually do. And I think a lot of people who've been through so much in life, they build resilience. They don't lose it.
That's nice to hear, and I think we all hope that for you. And thank you, hope that for her. Thank you for coming on, Dr. Duffy. It's nice to finally meet you in person. I've only seen you through the TV screen all these times.
Same,
so
Brian.
Thanks, appreciate it very much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.